Nobody talks about you, then you are nobody. Then you are nobody. Remember, child, everybody get that problem for head. Oh.
Greetings, I am Priestess Osun Funke, and today I am going to do a reading on the Amber Guyger case. You might remember that she is the police officer who was just yesterday convicted of killing a neighbor when she entered his apartment thinking that it was her own apartment and shot him, believing him to be an intruder. So she was found guilty. And I just want to do a card reading to find out, what do the ancestors think about this case? You know, we have had so many cases in this country of police officers killing Black men and not being convicted. So this was something a little bit different. Let's see what the ancestors have to say about that. The first card I get is the card for the deal maker, which talks about what we're dealing with at this time. The next card I get is the card for the end of illusions, which talks about seeing things clearly, followed by the card for the love child. So this row of cards is basically the ancestors saying, you know, what you guys are dealing with, what you're witnessing right now is the fact that you need to see things clearly. We love our children. We love you guys. The next card I have is the card for the drifter. This talks about instability. I get the card for the provocateur, which talks about one being provoked. And I get the card for charisma, which talks about one being charmed. Okay, so this could be talking about Amber Guyger herself saying that she was charmed into instability. And this doesn't surprise me because I felt like she had to be under some sort of spiritual influence for her intuition and her ancestors not to kick in and to alert her to the fact that she was not entering her own apartment. So this is very interesting that my ancestors are coming through saying, you know, she was being charmed into some sort of instability in that moment. I get the card for the mystic, which is talking about spirits. So I think that they are following up on that idea. I get the card for the arrival, which is talking about at this time. And I get the card for distractions. Okay. And so this row of cards is saying that at this time, or at the time of this incident, she was distracted by spirits, just as I suspected. Let's keep going. The next card I have is the card for the elder, followed by the card for brokenheartedness, but it is upside down, followed by the card for logic. Okay, so this row of cards is saying that the elders are not disappointed. They're logical. Okay, so they're not disappointed in her conviction. They're logical. She evidently had to pay for her actions. I think that's what they're saying in regard to her being convicted. The next card is the card for seduction, followed by the card for the student, followed by the card for chaos. Okay, so this row of card is talking about individuals, or an individual being a student of chaos. Okay, so this could be talking about Amber Guyger saying that she is a student of chaos. Her role as a police officer in America, where Black men are public enemy number one, and she has studied this doctrine, works under it, upholds it as a police officer. A student of chaos, this is what she gets. I'm going to turn over one more row. I get the card for the oracle. Yep, they're closing it out. So the story is laser vision, talking about focus. Deception. So the story is a focus on deception. That's quite interesting. I'm going to turn over another row, see if they'll tell us what this story is. I get the card for bliss, which is talking about happiness. The mother. And the big spender upside down. Okay. So this is talking about the mother being happy. This could definitely be her victim's mother. This could be our ancestral mothers, our collective ancestors, saying that they are happy. And the big spender card upside down indicates to me that there is definitely going to be a civil suit. This case is not over. The ancestors and the family of her victim are going to be paid. Someone is going to pay for what happened. And with that, the ancestors have spoken. Now I am going to ask the ancestors, what do they have to say about the Amber Guyger conviction? Okay, so the really interesting thing that I see first off is the dice. I have the dice on the number 1, just above the past. Okay, so the ancestors are saying that in the past, they were alone. Okay, they were alone fighting for us in the past, but now they know that we are aware of their presence, that more of us are venerating the ancestors, spending time with the ancestors, and so they're acknowledging that they're not alone anymore, that they have us praying with them and to them. And they're happy about that because I get the open cowrie over the thumbs up. A lot of things fell off the board. I'm going to leave this here because I actually have something to say about that. I get Oya, the energy of Oya indicated with the open cowrie shell. And so what that's saying to me is that this is a time of change. Okay, things are changing, and this conviction is showing us that things are changing, that the death of Black men is either not going to continue, or it's not going to continue at the same rates, or perhaps it's not going to continue at the hands of policemen and women without there being consequences. Okay, so something about this definitely signifies change. What I get here is very interesting because I get the fool's gold and the hematite, or the anchor, over empathy. Okay, and so this is an advice from the ancestors. They're saying those of you who feel sorry for her, those of you who are saddened by the conviction or who are empathizing with her, you're being weighed down, and all that glitters is not gold. You know, in the card reading, they indicated that there was some sort of spiritual influence on Amber Guyger when she killed this man. She was under the influence of spirits. And so here the ancestors are saying, you know, your empathy for her is based on something that you can't see clearly. All that glitters is not gold. Don't feel sorry for her. Don't be weighed down by empathy for this woman because you really can't see what's going on. They're not a fan of Amber Guyger. I have the beetle over the woman. This indicates some sort of infestation. They're saying that something is wrong with her, that she's infested in some way. I get the survival stone and the amplification stone. And this amplification stone is very interesting where it's placed, because it is placed over both the finish line and something that's slipping through one's fingers. And I have the survival stone over something that is slipping through one's fingers. So this is talking about the likelihood of her survival in jail or in prison. And the ancestors are saying that her survival is slipping through her fingers, and that it's going to finish. Okay, so this is kind of not such a good omen for Miss Guyger. It doesn't look like she's going to survive very well in prison. And I get the sobriety stone over the man. So the ancestors are saying the sober, that this is a sober situation. That they are they're looking at this in a very sober way. And the sad truth is that she's probably not going to survive in prison, and if she does, she's going to have a difficult time doing so. I see the creativity stone over poverty. So this is saying that her family is pretty much going to go broke. I see them appealing. I see them spending money on attorneys. I see them trying with every resource that they have to either have this conviction reversed or overturned, or they're going to spend their last trying to get her out of prison. But it's not going to work, because I get the penny over medicine. So no matter what they try, it's going to be very futile. It looks like her fate is sealed. I get the quarter over betrayal. So the ancestors are talking here about the fact that she's a police officer sworn to protect and serve, and she turned her gun on a man in his own home who wasn't, that just is what it is, and it's costly. This was a costly betrayal, is what they're saying. I get the ancestral stone and the trophy over communication. Okay, so the ancestors are saying a couple of things here. One, as they always do, they're encouraging us to talk to them, to speak to the ancestors, to bind ourselves to the ancestors, and let the ancestors be our trophy. Let the ancestors be the way that we win. Okay, but they're also talking about her family talking, communicating. Again, trying to get her out of prison. And the ancestors are saying that they're blocking that. They're blocking that. They think that that's the prize. They think that if they go and they talk to this legal expert and they talk to this person and they try this and they try that there may be hope for her. But the ancestors are saying, no, we are the trophy in this case, and we are blocking this. She's not getting out. We get the transformation stone and the eraser over questions. So they're saying any questions that you had about this case, erase them. Judgment has been made. She has been convicted. That is what it is, and it's a done deal. Okay, I have the heart over caution. So they're saying, we love you. Be careful. This sobriety stone over the man, I think, is speaking about this particular case, but Black men in general. The ancestors are saying, we love you, but the sad truth is this kind of thing is part of the racial and political climate of the place and era that you're living in, and you need to be careful. We love you. Be careful. That's what they're saying right here. I get the nickel over the mask. So they're saying that there's still some things that we can't see about this particular case that would pay off for us, but not in any major way, because it's the nickel. So they're saying, yes, there's some things that haven't been uncovered, some things that you don't know, information that's still hiding. It may come out, it may change your opinion in one way or another, but it's not going to really amount to anything. And I get the petrified wood over the bullseye. Okay, so they're saying, it's almost like they're saying a little too late. Too little, too late. They're saying, yes, she got convicted. Yes, we hit our mark. She's going to prison. But the situation is still with Black men in America. The situation with police randomly killing people is still fucked up, basically, is what they're saying. I get the snowflake jasper over one whose head is buried in the sand. So the ancestors are saying, you guys still are not seeing things clearly. This is a very unique situation, and you guys are not seeing it. I think that they are talking about the spiritual aspects of this case. We saw in the card reading that she was under some sort of spiritual influence. This may be part of a larger plan. This may be some sort of conspiracy against, the Black man. I don't think that that's hard for any of us to imagine. This sobriety stone over the black man is definitely, or over the man, excuse me, is definitely saying, that there's a sober truth that's being revealed here. And there clearly is something more to it that we aren't seeing. And they've said that in a couple of places on the board. Right here over the sacral chakra, I have the danger stone and I have the rose quartz. So this is a message from the ancestors telling us to be careful, telling us to guard our survival, reminding us that they love us, and basically that we need to be careful. And then we have the button over the solar plexus, which is talking about us creating better environments. This is very close to the this is very close to the smoky quartz. So I think that what the ancestors are saying right here is that they are trying to create a better environment for us, one where we can be safe, where our survival is better guaranteed, where we can see things clearly. Remember at the beginning of the reading, I saw this danger stone off to the left of Ochosi, and I didn't remove it because I knew that there was a message. And what I'm hearing is they're saying, we haven't hit our mark. This was a victory, but like they said here, it's a small victory. The situation is still petrified. The situation for Black men in America, the situation regarding police brutality, it's still a very serious situation. We're not there yet. We haven't hit our mark. We still must be careful, and we need to renew our relationships with the ancestors. But they are acknowledging that they are no longer working alone. We are waking up in droves. We are working with the ancestors, and we need to continue to do that. So with that, the ancestors have spoken.
If nobody talks about you, then you are nobody.